哎呀，中午1点多搞完，1点半快2点搞完，睡了一觉，那困死了。我讲真，这个上课的课时还有强度，真的我觉得还挺大的。哎，先紧后松吧，真的是蛮受不了的。好多课老师课上不讲，也不能互动。我这一周我就互动了1节课，互动1个小时，问了几个问题没了，剩下全看视频。这哎行吧，关键是你看视频可以，搞研究对吧？你是不给定东西，啥也不给，你得把这个东西给说清楚吧。我觉得这是没说，根本就没有说清楚，就让在那搞来搞去。哎，行吧，take it as a challenge. Look upon it as a challenge. 你给我开始学一下这个 statistics of this title reliability what the risk and rule. 就没有了。算了。That's all right. Yeah.
Move comfortably into this course because they recognise a lot of the things that we are talking about. They recognise the complexity of real life decision making. For those of you who haven't yet had the benefit of site experience and workforce experience, some things are going to be a struggle for you. And I particularly point out that you're all engineers, you come from a very physics-based, deterministic background, and this class will challenge you because it's all about uncertainty. How do you identify uncertainty? How do you quantify, if you can, uncertainty? And what the hell do you do about it? Because ultimately, decisions have to be made. And so all I would say is embrace this discomfort because it will be a good preparation for the workforce. We work hard here to accommodate people both face-to-face. So as you are the people in the room today, so thank you for making this early start. But we also recognise that we have a large online community. Those people who are still overseas, I'd like to welcome all of our overseas people who are enrolled, for whom this must be a really challenging time, and we acknowledge that. And of course, those who can't get out of bed at 8 o'clock in the morning and who will see this later on. So, but
you don't even send me the links.
Hopefully come together through the fact that we run a really quite sophisticated form of discussion boards in this course. There is a discussion. There are 2 new discussion boards every week. One for stats, one for engineering material. We keep them separate because they're aligned. It's just easier to do that and easier to track threads. There's also a discussion board for the whole of anything to do with the unit administration. You have massive amount of online support in this unit.
Are you sure?
Not only are Dr. and I on the discussion board a lot, we have some fantastic facilitators, and we have our really incredible unit coordinator, Gemma, who will, as you will see, will be really fantastic at answering any sort of admin questions.
Gemma.
But discussion boards only work if you participate. So you can be passive and you can just scroll through and see what everybody else is doing, or you can be an active participant. And that's largely a maturity thing, would be my observation, a maturity and a confidence thing. So we would encourage you to, if you haven't been an active participant in online teaching discussion boards, that this is a nice, safe environment for you to come and practice to do that. Please get involved. Please get involved in posting on other posts. One of the best things is when we have students talking to students on the discussion board. So I would really encourage you. It's also very nice for us. One of the things that always warms my heart is when somebody who perhaps maybe hasn't read the instructions, that has been known to happen with students, asks, well, where is something? And another student pops up and says, well, it's on the unit admin page. They don't wait for me to say it, but it's really nice when one of you goes, well, actually, if you look there, it's right there. Maybe you should look, not necessarily say maybe you should look more, but that sort of thing, that might not sound like a very positive example, but in a way it is. It's encouraging people to take a little more time to think about, do I understand how things are? And if you genuinely can't find something, please post. But also, professionally, it's good to make a little bit of an effort first. When you are posting on discussion boards,
I have already made enough
don't
effort.
post, gosh, could you give me the answer to question 3B? Because we will come back, and in fact, many of your colleagues will come back and say, well, what are your assumptions? How do you think you would approach this? And will attempt to coach you through, because the point here is not to have the answer. The point here is to understand so that you can do it for yourself next time. So there's very much a lot of support for people to help themselves. And also, on a less sort of calculating matter, often in risk, it's not clear. There isn't often a clear answer. And in engineering, we resort to process. We say we don't know the answer is unknown, but if we follow this prescribed process, we will get an answer, and we will trust the answer because we have been through the process. So understanding that's a real change from the way that you are often taught. So understanding and embracing process, we're going to talk a lot about failure modes and effects analysis processes, hazard processes, risk management processes. You're going to get to know the engineering standards really well.
Okay.
And you're going to be able to start to realize the impact of people's competence, organizational culture, and a whole host of other things that affect how decisions are made. So I know that's a lot to take on. I really want to encourage you to embrace the course. Don't treat it like every other course you've ever done at university, because this is a course for engineers who are going to be working. We treat you as professionals. I've done a lot of teaching in industry. I teach to you the same way I talk to the Australian Defence Force or Rio Tinto. I treat you as professionals. I really want you to use this opportunity to practice being professionals.
Thank you.
Please embrace what we're doing. We work very hard. We care very much about this course. We've taught it twice a year for 7 years. We think a lot about your learning. We want to support you, and we hope you will enjoy it. Thank you very much.
I hope they will not use that India accent. Global.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm Gopal, so I'm known as Gopal. I'm in the maths department. I'm not an engineer. I do stats, so I'm going to that more in detail.
This is what accent?
So to welcome all those students online, I think we have a large number this semester online. So,
but why is he saying there's people online? How can I participate online?
So I'll go through a bit of the unit and I'll start now.
Un momento. This is risk 啊，老子杠你呢。Friday 20210226 says statistic video 1. Did I mention student online? How can I participate?
my first. So I'll go through a bit about the unit and I'll start my first lecture.
What are you doing?
Semester online. So to welcome all those students online, I think we have a large number this semester online. So I'll go through a bit about the unit and I'll start my first lecture.
First lecture.
We have around 1 hour 45 minutes or 1.5 hours of lecture, okay? With a break if you want. If you don't want, we can continue without break. So I just go through some of the important stuff, which is in the unit outline, most of them, but just to browse through a few stuff. But whatever it is, please read the unit outline, okay? There's a lot of info. I'm sure most of you already read by now. Can you hear everybody at the back? Can you hear me? Yeah. So there's a lot of information in the unit outline. Basically, there's a lot of assessments going every week. So you need to be really aware of those things. So I'll go through some of them. Okay. So myself, as I said, I do mainly stats. I got a PhD in mathematical statistics. I do this as a UWA academic. We are all supposed to be doing research. So my research area is
Fuck.排队论 spatial process 空间过程建模排队理论 fuck 这是505是吧 PC save as my computer G GMG 505 OK and T this is what new artistic engineering
is in stochastic process, probability theory, spatial statistics, and so on. Okay.
okay
So I taught few universities. I play badminton and so on. I come from originally from a small town in the state called Kerala in India. Anybody know about Kerala here? Oh, good. Okay.
sorry I don't know Kerala 丢了克拉拉邦我操克拉拉邦这他妈是不是什么 Cochin 在这附近，Kerala，Kerala，Kerala，Kerala，India，I'm going to India，India。Very much love India. Lovely. Discussion. Goodness.我必须得note assist. There is no group work such as what you have in design unit. The whole unit is eventually a group project. Okay. 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 Putain. Arrangement. 你可以，你这老师答的全他妈废话，全是官话套话，我他妈服了。我晚上再他妈给他发个信息，你妈了个逼！我靠！哟，识字率93.91%，不错不错。我这克拉拉邦他妈没一个，我操！硬供在克拉拉邦开始新的5年执政。All right，你是唯一完全保护梵文古代印度寿命这啥？这是废字，吠陀。OK，啥来？
So I did my early education there, then moved around, came to Australia, Melbourne University, then moved around, came back here. Okay, I love Perth. That's why I love Swan River. That's my travel. Yeah. It's one of the beautiful rivers, got so much exposed, parks and so on.
老哥，你不是吃完晚饭吗？我这正在那看统计了。
You can go around the river, cycle around the river, and so beautiful river. Okay. Also, you will see, we already met Malina. We'll do the workshop tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Okay. So you have to.
Do you know your statistic pregnancy facilities? Select from one top achievement in this unit in past semesters. Very important that you attend the first week 2.
We like to wake up. You all wake up early morning, but most of the crowd still maybe sleeping who are in the country. Also, so the stats have lecture plus practice class. So practice class is taken by people who have did this course last year or year before. We have a facilitator who had done a few years ago. So they are all the top students in the unit. And usually we select 1 or 2, depending on how many require from the previous batch, who are the top. Okay, I send them invitation to whether they like to do or not.
老哥呢？我现在还没看。
And if you're one of the top, you may get a email from me at the end of the semester. Okay. So the practice class starts next week, and because Monday is a holiday, I think the practice class are Monday, Tuesday. So we are organizing a makeup session for the Monday ones. Okay, it will be on Wednesday. I will announce that in LMS.
那中，那你先吃。
So there's from the past there's overwhelming material in this unit. Okay, there are a lot of stuff because this unit is really industry based on stuff. There's a lot of case studies and then puts up a lot of situations. So there's a lot of videos, a lot of recordings, there are a lot of things to read. So if you don't go every week by week work, you will be overloaded. Okay. So please start from the beginning for first week up, otherwise it's very hard to catch up. And if you lose the quizzes, you lose the marks. Okay,
Oh my God.
So practice class is basically for you to ask questions rather than they going through all the problems. Okay, they go through problems as well, but your job is to try the practice sheet before the practice class and go with questions. Okay, so it's done in a large room settings. There will be two people in the two facilitators. So one will do something up front, let's say, going through some of the problem, other will come help you out. And that's how the practice class work, and you work in group as long as we are allowed to work in group. Okay. This is a cumulative knowledge. That means you need to know the previous content to go on to the next lecture. Okay, there's nothing independent here. So cumulative, so you really need to catch up with the stuff. LMS, as Melinda said, is one of the heavily used LMS discussion board in the university. Okay, it's so many because we are around 300 students in this unit, and a lot of postings happens. So please follow that. You can contribute to the discussion board, answering questions or anything. So the important thing is that if you got any questions, this is not to the connected to the unit, not actually to the content. Content we encourage you to put in the discussion board, but anything personal you don't want to others to know, just email to that. Please don't email personal emails, it will get delayed. Okay, as an introduction to this unit, I'll show you a video. It's quite possible that you're seeing this. Hopefully this will work. Sometimes it doesn't work. SRB hydraulic power unit.
不知道，也中吧。那我看这个地方，这东西能下载不能？我是感觉我先看一下，看完了在那儿看。要不我都没看，我咋知道哪儿难哪儿不难？
T minus 21 seconds, and the solid rocket booster engine gimbal now underway. T minus 15 seconds. T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. We have main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Liftoff of the 25th space shuttle mission, and it is cleared to power.
Fuck, my ear pregnant.
Okay, so it's not showing the video. Sorry, put up with that.
What are you doing?
Okay, let me see what I can get this sound.
3 seconds after it lifted off from February 28th, 1986. Only 73 seconds after it lifted off from Cape Canaveral, Florida, the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded.
Challenger 肯尼迪航空中心挑战者号上。Who knows what's the dirty things behind the table? Under table.
have main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Liftoff of the 25th Space Shuttle mission, and it is
那不给飞机屁股烧坏了？哎哎哎哎 ！Oh no! Let's see what they will say. They will say, "Oh no! Oh my god! Oh no, my god!"
at 94%. Total throttle, most of the flight 104%. Total throttle now is 65%. Shortly. Only 65% three engines running normally through the fuel bill. Trigger APU.
Is it going well?
Velocity 2,257 feet per second. Altitude 4.3 nautical miles. Average distance
老师的视频卡了，哇 ！Voice of Tom Minister and correspondent。哦，我操，炸了稀烂，terrible。
Okay, you would have watched this. Have anybody watched this before?
关键我不知道
Okay, what is the allowance of that per unit?
尿没来的话，你来慢点。
Anybody? What is the allowance? What? I said industrial system made by engineers and it's explored. So it
不行，你说什么？ Dear Melinda, thanks来 you I wanted to confirm which I could statistically 好吧，好吧。Which I could join in real time. This video. How would I listen? Facilite.哎，我操你妈！你妈傻逼！
Synchronous.
Synchronous. remove 没有固定。
Isochronous. Isochronous.
Isochronous. Isochronous. English no good. Let's see. Just Zoom. Teams. It's really a bad feeling not knowing when and how to take it. Ah, parece dele.骂了隔壁。好宅。507。我操，forbidden！妈的不让下。几几不让下，人家不让下载。老于你带电脑了没有？操！你妈妈的，多日的，那不让下载。我点下载，它 forbidden。其实我想也觉得不是那么容易就让下载了。这课件咋可能随便允许我下载呢？
It has thousands and thousands of components. Before it is launched, the RISC code database has 100 pounds, maybe. Okay. Every component is calculated and give a huge system, and they calculate the risk for entire system of failure. Okay. Unless it is 99.999 something, they won't launch. Okay. And those who read it,
Matière, il faut lecture additional. Additionnel. Ah, c'est le additionnel. Ok. Lecture problème. Guarda qui, è qui. 这重版让下载。Problème，这也可以下载。Introduction，那个 introduction，啊行，还可以，这个不让下。操！嘿，让下。哎，为啥？我操！你妈扯淡！Le faux piton. Fuck you. People manager. Australia fired. Le président. Fire. Show me the powder. Alright.一足扣，控制使用中国伟大的思想家。我不许你这么侮辱他。中国伟大思想，中国古代伟大思想家。我不许你这么侮辱他。中国伟大思想家。中国古代伟大思想家。
About it, so it was a failure of the rocket booster, it's a component, you can read a lot about this internet, a lot of things happen, and you study about it. So basically, as I said, you are engineers, you may could be part of such design components, or the system, or many other components, okay, or many other systems. So
妈的，我这效率真他妈的低，操！
assessing risk more.
哎妈，
All the associations, every part has a random component,
他妈发个
a
又，
large power component. So
他妈发个他妈几 K 的文件还他妈，操你妈！取消还取消不掉，真傻逼。Statistical Wave One Case Study Study Australia Fire Lecture OK, start.克拉拉邦文化发达。
So here we show random quantity. They are not deterministic. Of course, if they are deterministic, we don't have to do much study. We know exactly when it's going to happen. But because they are random, okay, that's where the statistics comes in. So when you are looking at this probability of your components or systems, statistics is the most important content in that. So we can't really predict when it's, we can't really see how things will fail or when it will fail exactly. But from the past experience, we can learn how to tackle it, how to reduce the risk. So the past experience means data, okay, in terms of measurements, how things have worked before, similar components of similar systems. So data is collected. So we are dealing with data from the past.
Data from the past.
And how to reduce this. Okay? So at least we know with a certain probability what's the failure, how long it will last, what is the mean lifetime, and so on. So that's whole idea behind the stats in this unit. Okay? Because a lot of data coming in, and we need to assess this kind of reliability of the component. Right? So in this unit, I'll just tell you a bit about the introduction and show you what is an LMS, because LMS has a lot of stuff in there. It's quite possible that you can get lost in that, and I'll cover topic 1. So every week, I introduce a certain concept, and then we have what we call a problem solving session. So there's a problem sheet, it's called lesson problem. There's all the elements at the moment. I'll go through that.
Problem solving section. Problem solving session.
Okay, so if you have to like that, go through that working of that problem, then you understand what concepts are used.
Random variables.
Use that in the workshop. Right. And besides that, you've got the following week the practice class on the content stuff. And then you have the teachers go through practice. Okay, so I really want to emphasize that this is not a priority of stats learning. Right? The stats lecture is basically complementing what you require for the learning workshop. Right? Because it's very quantitative, and many of you haven't done anything before like this, so we need to spend a bit of time. And I know that many of you, especially electrical engineers and so on, you have done a lot of stats, you probably covered here. Okay?
This is not probability in statistics.
There are some of you who haven't seen anything else. Okay? And I really want to tell you that if you find the first two lectures difficult, okay, because there are some students who enroll in the first semester itself or second semester, but you haven't done any stats before, and this part is going to be hard. Okay, so those students, I suggest that take the unit in a later semester, semester 3 or 4 of your PhD program, okay, and come and see me. I'll give you some readings. Right? So just first lecture, second lecture, if it so sounds great to you, because first lecture component part, most of them are done in year 4 here, okay, in Western Australia, especially in school education, probability theory and so on. Most of them is done in specialist maths or somewhere else. Okay, so and there's some overseas students who haven't done that, and you probably haven't done maths 1001 or 002. Some of you, quite possible, who were not part of the engineering program here from the first year. Okay, so those students, I really suggest you struggle, that you go and take another unit, because every program is very flexible. You can take another unit in its place and do this unit in second year of the program. Okay? And come and see me. I'll give you some readings. Right. So again, we look at engineering problems and we look at the tools required to solve such problems. Okay? So it's really, I like teaching this part because this is a really, you can motivate the students with a particular problem and then see what tools are required, and you will be using that in the engineering sessions. Okay? So 2 hours lecture and problem solving per week. We usually run for 10 weeks. We don't go for 12 weeks. Okay, 12th week will be a revision for exam. Okay, so you get 1 week free at least for stats lecture. So all the relevant, I mean, basically what happens is that being engineers, you are not used the concept of defining time variables or measurements in quantitative way and then proceed with some sort of model for that, and so that's what you are doing here. Okay, you've got measurements, we use them notation mathematically, and we try to model them, we look at the properties, okay, and so on, and then finally we look at the data and how we use that data in determining things. So there are all problems like related to the case study. There's a case study already up in LMS. Okay, so we really need to read the lecture material before listening to the lecture if you are not coming to the class at least. The practice class is based on so whatever I teach this week will be part of the practice sheet next week. Okay, and it will be more applied oriented as well.
Practical probability and statistics by applying and solving engineering problems. So
in the practice class again, you'll be you can sit in groups. You really have to go through lecture material before attending the class. Okay, they won't come on. The facilitator won't lecture everything on the board. Everyone won't write down everything on the board. It's basically you need to go and ask questions. Okay, some of all the students say, "Ah, we don't understand question number one," because they will do that on the board. Okay, so things like that. So please go with the questions.
Be familiar with the possibility and the statistic content, and try the practice questions before attending the session. Facilitator in your class may discuss some of the difficult questions on the board.
They will discuss on, usually the practice sheet is long, they will not get time to discuss everything, so they prioritize which questions depending on demand from the students. Okay, so lecture themes are connected to the workshop, the engineering workshop. So
what is this? To the engineer from the community engineering workshop.
okay, so
Let's keep you up to date with essential tools and understand engineering problem resolution.
lecture themes are connected to the workshop, the engineering workshop.
All the lectures are recorded and available on a weekly basis. All the lectures are recorded and available on a weekly basis on Thursday afternoon by 2 p.m. Practical lessons face-to-face or online. You need to register. Face-to-face practice section. Zoom link will be posted on MS. I have to say, this Indian teachers make it much more clear than some teachers. How is this stupid?我记得他妈逼不是周二吗？怎么又周四了又 ？Tuesday. Okay. No. Yes. So Saturday. Yes.
So this is how things work now. Okay. So you got the face-to-face practice classes Monday, Tuesday, 11, and you got the Zoom sessions 11 to. No, that's kind of true. So that's 12 to 1. Okay. It's not 2 hours. It's only 1 hour. That's 12 to 1, and that's 10 to 11 as well. Again, this Monday one will be shifted. There will be makeup class next week. I'll announce that in Lamas tomorrow. Okay? You'll get an announcement. So what you have to do this week? You're already here. I in the first lecture. Then there's a baseline quiz in Lamas. I'll show you where it is. That's basically not an assessed quiz. It's actually for you to judge yourself how much probability theory concept you know. Okay? If you're getting something like 0 in that, you can't really see it. Okay? So if you're getting this, there are concepts you have not, most of you haven't seen before at the end of the quizzes, this is to see what you can do. So this is just a self-assessment, okay, to see how you're going with how much you remember from the past, okay, all that. So please do that. It's a good exercise to do. And also it tells us how much you know. Okay, so it's useful information to us as well. So please do that. So that process, it used to be on
Tuesday.
So Monday, holiday. We made that into process Tuesday next week.
Okay.
Okay. So it's not part of assessment. So all of the weekly stats quizzes, right, opens at 6 p.m. Sunday and closes 6 p.m. on the following Monday.
Oh my God.
So there are totally 10 of them stats. Okay.
Un momento. And that all other weekly statistic quizzes assessed open at 6 p.m. What? It's only one day? 6 p.m. Open at 6 p.m. Sunday and closed at 6 p.m. on the following Monday. Ah, so those people, that's only one day or that is 1 week?
And regarding the engineering business, Navinda will tell you. Right? So you need to attend the.
How can I attend? Engineering weekly quiz days are different to that of the statistic. How can I attend?你妈了个逼巴子！那到底搞什么东西？在这搞来搞去。
Friday workshop, which is tomorrow. Please don't skip the Friday workshop. If you can attend, you must attend because recording is because Malinda walks around the room like here. She walks around. You may not get everything going on in the workshop because it's a problem solving session as well. Okay, so to get the full information from the workshop, you really have to be there. Okay? And Malinda is extremely good lecturer. And she has been teaching industry people so many years. So it's a really, I feel it's a privilege to be here and talk to her. Okay, so be here, get all the things you can get. She'll answer any question you want to ask that to engineering problems. So make use of that. I mean, you won't get such expertise anyway. Okay, you have really studied this kind of ability. Right? So use that person to learn more. So we go through probability concept, which most of you have done in your year 12. Okay, then we go into what we call random variable concepts. So random variables, so these are events associated with the risk and reliability. These are measurements associated with risk and reliability. And then we go and model them. And then you do lots of how to sample, how to actually get data. Then we are how to test hypothesis for certain things. Okay, and we finally do regression analysis. So it's all about lifetime data. Okay, that's all we did in this evening. Lifetime data, and we need to have developed a certain theory before we get into data. That's what we do first. So we did in this evening. Lifetime data, and we need to have developed a certain theory before we get into data. That's what we do first. Okay, textbook. So that's the Christown textbook. There's an e-copy in the library, so you can download it. So that's the book. Unfortunately, we don't have a bookshop now. I'm not really sure where you get them. You can go to Tokyo or Amazon. So that's the textbook. And if you're really serious about the unit, it's a really good book to have it as a reference book for you. A lot of material there to read. Okay, so you can have it, or you can get an online copy. I think you can download chapters from the library if you like. This is a book we used previously because we didn't have an online version before. We stopped that book. That's a very good book for stats. Okay, that's a very good book for engineering part. It's a very good book for stats part. Okay, So sometimes it's good to read that. Right? Okay, so the quizzes are very theoretical in content. Okay, just
with this session, theoretical nature. No context based. Use the lecture slide and textbook answer.
just to test your knowledge on the theoretical front. Okay, so there is no case study, nothing there. So you given a random variable, find the mean, variance, find the probabilities of events and things like that. Whereas practice class questions are more applied time. There will be a situation given, and you need to apply and interpret. Okay? Whereas in the quiz question, there is no interpretation, just the right figure out the method. So why these are important is your final exam and your midterm test are all multiple choices. Okay?
Say it again.
The method. So why these are important is your final exam and your midterm test are all multiple choices. Okay? So you have to be intent correct if you answer the way your method of working. Okay? Our multiple choices are written in such a way that if you do a simple mistake, we know what common mistakes students do, you get the right answer. Okay? You do a simple mistake errors and see that your answer is already there, and you might think, oh, this is correct. Okay? So that means you need to really know exactly how to work out things. Right? And that's what is covered in the quizzes. Right? Really work out exact method and get it practiced. And here you apply how, where you actually apply it, how do you interpret problems, and so on. Right? Okay, so final exam will have a good proportion of probability and statistics content. And usually, so there are 42 questions you answer in the final exam. Right?
42.
Okay, so final exam will have a good proportion of probability and statistics content. And usually, so there are 42 questions you answer in the final exam. Right? And the 20 questions are coming out of workshop content, but they are all mixed in. Okay, there is not really a huge distinction between two, but 20 questions basically prepared from the workshop content, 18 questions are prepared from the stats content, and last 4 questions are multidisciplinary, that means your discipline specific questions. So you need to answer for 42 questions.
Say it again.
And last 4 questions are just, and here you apply. So final exam will have a good proportion of probability and statistics content, and usually, so there are 42 questions you answer in the final exam, right? And the 20 questions are coming out of workshop content, but they are all mixed in. Okay, there is not really a huge distinction between two, but 20 questions basically prepared from the workshop content, 18 questions are prepared from the stats content, and last 4 questions are multidisciplinary, that means your discipline specific questions. We need to answer for 42 questions. So the assessment is you got a engineering quizzes, weekly 1 50%, stats 1 is 15%. I think there's 8 quizzes, I think, for engineering. There's 10 here, and there's a
midterm test in week 5.
Midterm, and be prepared for it. It happens not in midterm, it happens in week 5. Okay? So in week 5, it will be done in the engineering workshop. And the important thing is that if you miss that midterm on that particular time of conducting it, it will be done online in class here at the same time. If anybody misses that, there is no makeup test. Okay, that component will be added to the final exam, which is 75% there. Oh, sorry, 70%. Okay, 55 plus 15, it will be 70% for you in the final exam.
If you miss the midterm, your final exam it was 70. What does that mean?
You missed the test.
No
Is that
makeup
clear?
tests available for any
Okay,
reason.
so okay, so please read all that. All that is done in the given in the unit outline. Please read. Okay, again, now UWA has a no scaling policy, so there is no point in comparing that I'm better than somebody else. I may scale backwards.
No scaling of Mach. Okay.
No, I'm not. No, I'm okay compared to other person. There is no comparison now. Okay, whatever you get, that's you found no scaling. Okay, that's the effect of scaling. That means you think everybody will be pushed up. No. Okay, we don't really get. I mean, usually around less than 10% failure. Okay, usually 7% or something. But even if you fail 20%, this policy says no. Okay, doesn't happen. We have been consistent in the things. So, but I'll show you some of the graphs. Okay, here you go. Right. So this is something that we really have to understand. Okay, how things work to mitigate your risk of failure. Okay. So here, this is the overall bar. Okay. So this is from the last semester. I'm showing this because this is the second time we had a online exam. Okay. We used to be closed book exam. Now because of online, it's open book exam. Right. So the average is 63.4. Right. So now look at these two components. This is what the students are very good. They do their online quizzes, okay, and they get high marks. Some of them may not really understand what is going on, but some of them get marks. Right? So that's pretty high. But you look at this one. This is out of 42. The average is 22.6. Okay. So to get marks in the exam, you really have to understand your concept. Okay. If you make random choices, all the questions have 5 choices. Okay. So you have no chance of getting correct. By random choices, only 1 on 5. Okay. And so yes, we can expect to get only 20%. Now, if you just randomly choose, which is not sufficient for you. So that's how. So when you add these two together, weighted, that's what happens. Okay. So you get a distribution like this when you work. Now the important part here, this one. So this is a semester total. That means there was no midterm last year. Okay. This time we used to have midterm before. Now we skipped all these. We didn't have midterm for a few years. Now we are putting it back. So this year we have midterm. Okay. So the midterm is going to influence all this because midterm is actually like exam. Okay, so you need to be careful about this. It could shift down the marks, but that's where you get. So here you see that people who got semester total very high, all these bunch, right? And their marks are, you see that? So I'm really concerned about the student in this box here. So they achieved very high marks during the semester, but during the exam they got low marks. Okay? That's a consequence of not understanding the concept. Right? That's what this one is. Right? Not understanding the concept. Just arbitrarily choose the answer, come up with something. Okay? So you don't want to be there. Okay? You really want to be here in that order.
Where?
Okay? So for that, attend the workshop, attend the lecture, be up to date. I mean, even if you don't attend the lectures, exact lecture, I really encourage you, but be up to date. Okay? You really need to be up to date with your lectures, content, everything. Do the weekly work and understand the concept. Then you'll be high somewhere here, and then in the exam you understand you'll be high somewhere here, and you'll be in that corner. Okay? There's no reason why you can't be there. We are happy to push everybody to there. Okay, we don't mind. Even if we get everybody get high marks, the university says nothing. Okay, there's no scaling, no pushing down. please end there. Right? That's an overview of what you should look for, how you should manage your unit, this unit. Okay, so every questions related to you should be in the discussion board. Please subscribe to the discussion board. Only personal queries, please email there. Okay. If you email staff emails, it get buried in there. Okay. So you may not get response. So if I get an email from a student in my UWA email, I get a lot of emails. So then I see the
question related to the content of this should be posted in the MS description. Okay, subscribe to the discussion board. Professional inquiry. You will get a faster response if you use anonymous users definitely. Okay.
Email I reply only when it's urgent. Then I keep that to the end of the week. Okay, and sometime in the weekend. Because I can't answer all of them during the week. And that's what happens to many staff members. Okay. When they see it, they reply only urgent ones, and they keep it later. Okay, for other ones. So if you want quick response, email that. So that's not only me and Nalinda, there's Gemma, who is the admin person, she replies as well. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So that's all down information. What is in LMS?
Discussion board, keep track of it.
Keep track of.
Email to you weekly quizzes on engineering practice and sheet and solution. Because that's the new workshop material and what.
All those things are there. I'll just go through that. Okay, there'll be sample exam as well. Now I'll go to the LMS soon. Now this unit uses R. I want to say a couple of words about that. So R is a freeware. It is one of the heavily used statistical software in the world. Okay. So if you want to, you all see that in your workplace, you need to use stats. Quite likely, data science is the popular area now, and that's one of the areas you may want to get into as well. So if you haven't done R or Python before, okay, I think you should all learn that to some extent. And this is, you all go through a lot of stuff into R, but we'll be using outputs from R, couple of labs, I think three practice processes we will use R. I think first time is it week 3 or week 4, then week 8, week 10, and 11, when you do regression, you'll be using R. There will be R output in the exam. You need to know how to read R output. You really don't have to execute commands with R. You are not going to test that, but you need to know how to interpret R output. Okay? And I really encourage students in this unit that there are a lot of free courses available in Coursera, and what is that one? I can't remember. There's a lot of free education platforms. You can do free courses. Okay, so I'll tell you more about it later on at the end of the unit. So there's a few versions of it. One is basic R Studio, and R Commander. Okay, so most of us use R Studio because you can, it's a programming line. You can have several windows, and you can see what's going on and so on. And you can use R Commander as well. Okay. So just read through them. If we go to our project website, they tell you all about this, and there's information in LMS as well. Okay. So that's that part. So let me go through LMS quickly. Okay. Okay, that's your view. So if you go in there, you'll see that. And so unit admin tab has a lot of information, right? So the learning outcomes, reference material. So this one, the essential, that one there, okay? So that one, that's essential summary and tables. So that gives you all the formula and summaries of stuff you use in this unit, part of the content every weekly. So, and that used to be what is allowed in the exam before, okay? So I really suggest you download that one, keep it in your laptop, useful in the practice classes. But now it's an open book, so but this gives you a summary. Okay, so that's a really useful information, both stats and engineering. So please download that. It's good to have a printed copy if you don't carry your laptop around. The lecture recordings are all will come. This recording will come after 2 hours, and same with the Melinda's talk. And I'm aiming to, because there are a lot of online students, I'm aiming to record 40 minutes of practice class as well. Okay, that's just the recording. Then a lot of the, it's like global standard required for your engineering part is over here. This is about your process. Now so you should look at this one. That's the semester 1 Tuesday. So please go through that. It's a very important document. So if you open that, it tells you what is due when. Okay. So you can see that in week 1, there's no quiz, but week 2 is already things due. And same with the stats quizzes. Okay, they're all given there. And few students at the end of the semester says, I didn't know that there was another quiz like this, the stats. I mean, you really have to read it. So you lose 15% if you don't see that there's a stats quiz on every week. Okay, so please make sure that you read that document. All right. So the unit readings, the textbook details are all there as well. Okay, so that's the unit admin. Then the unit outline, please read every line of it. Okay. Announcements you will get, but it will be there. You'll get by email whenever you post something. Then discussion board is an important part. Right. So you see that this is the Java discussion board for admin purposes. If you got anything connected to unit, not specific content, please post there.
Well, I think I will just pause and come back later. Well, see you maybe in later in the night or maybe tomorrow.